outside of the presidential palace in Santo Domingo, and the guards had told us that we couldn't stay in front for very long, which is kind of weird because they have fences and gates and a whole bunch of stuff. But last thing we want to do is cause an issue, so we're just gonna walk around and try to get it from different angles. You know, as they say, when in Rome, do like the Romans. And you have to be mindful of that because we're not in the States. You know, I could stand in front of the White House with my camera in an unrestricted area and film, and there would be no issue. But there's no First Amendment here. This is, I'm sure they have the ability to do that, but I don't know. And so I'm not really looking to test it. So we do, the next best thing is we move it along and try to show you whatever we can. Through the bars. You have to be mindful though, because they may be under the impression that maybe Haiti is gonna invade the country or something. You never know. ¿Cómo está? Best. So, and then there's of course probably the need to control the traffic here. ¿Cómo está? They were very polite though. They didn't tell me to like get lost in a bad way or anything, but there's a lot of government buildings around here, as you could imagine. Security is very tight. They've got this all very beautifully adorned. And hello. You got kind of show you around here. This is Moises Garcia and Dr. Delgado. This is the Commission of Presidential Support. Not sure what that's all about. Got the flag of the DR up there. Flying proud. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to walk halfway around for Sight Sounds Flavors, and then this is for the presidency here. It's like an office or something. And then the other half around I'll do for Todo Que Veo, which is the Spanish version of Sight Sounds Flavors. And here you can get a feel for traffic and a lot of motorcycles here. Now some people might say, why are you taking videos of a truck or a cab? Well, because it's Sight Sounds Flavors. And so you see everything I see, hear everything I hear. Hola. And as I said, when I eat some good food, I try to describe that food to you as best as I can. Hola. And that's what it's all about. Now it's interesting, they've got military basically for every, I would say almost like every 100 yards, 100 meters. I wonder if there's someone in this little house here. There's not, but that gentleman we saw is probably in there, so that when it rains it can like be in there. And the gates are also pretty high. Now earlier I had made the little joke about maybe they thought they were going to get invaded or something, but again, the readiness here seems to be pretty sharp. They're not looking to be surprised by really anything. And now over here, there isn't a lot of, well, over there you can see an officer at the door. So really, there's eyes on pretty much every angle and every spot. And those are human eyes. I'm sure that there's cameras and maybe drones and who knows what else. But there's a lot of that. This gentleman here gave us a pretty tough look. It's probably with the tourism board, maybe, I don't know. But this is another gate over here. And we got more gates down there. They're saying no, you can't film, which is hilarious because we're on a public sidewalk. They've got a pretty bizarre sense of, you know, photographic rights, you know. They're very paranoid. I don't like that so much. You don't have that at the White House. I mean, we're the most powerful country in the world. We got a bullseye on us by God knows how many people. But again, all the more reason to be grateful of the freedoms that we have in the United States. Because I would think out of all the countries America's enemies want to hit, Dominican Republic is not on the top of the list. I would think that they could be a lot more carefree than what they are. But that bald guy that you guys saw that was going into the compound, man, he gave me a real nasty look. And when you think about all the money the United States sends to Santo Domingo, all the aid we've given them, but that's cool, that's all right. I don't want to, you know, like, I'm trying to not be sour about it because, you know, I really would love to give you a very pleasant look at the presidential palace here in Santo Domingo, but it's not a very friendly place. It really isn't. So if you're thinking about coming here, that's cool, but they'll start, you know, pointing you away very shortly. And you get a sense like they don't care if the video gets 1,000 views or 1 million. I don't think they want tourists here. And I don't know if they have guided tours or not. I would hope so, at least for the citizens, right? I mean, because the taxpayers of the Dominican citizens paid for all this, but Dominican citizens don't have the highest regard for their government. And this may be why. I don't know. Now, mind you, there's no signs that say no videography or photos. Anywhere. Anywhere. Hola. And you got this over here. So, ¿cómo está? Ustedes no son muy alegres acá, parece, ¿no? No, no muy alegre. Pero pongan un letrero para que la gente no grabe. Porque aquí no hay letrero ninguno. Solamente la palabra suya. I told them they're not very happy people. And he said, you can't film. And I said, well, put a sign up. Because the only person telling me I can't film is the guy. There's no signs, there's nothing. And if there's no signs, that makes me think he's just being a jerk, telling me I can't film. Because if you don't want someone to film, then you cover this, okay? You put a wall up here so that people can't film. Or you put some signs maybe, I don't know. But yeah, they have like these really, really tough looking faces. And it's just not very friendly. And you know these guys, like if, God forbid, the US were ever to invade, they'd crap their pants and run. But the thing is, like, anybody can, you know, stare down a videographer, you know what I mean? Like, that's not tough. You know, go to Afghanistan, go to Iraq, like our guys go. These guys are standing here like statues, making up rules as they go along. And what am I compromising here? A parking lot? Like I said, guys, you hear it, you see it, just like I hear it, just like I see it. If I can save you a trip down here, then, you know, that'll be a good thing. Now I've got to do one in Spanish too, so I think when I come up to this green light, I'm going to start it in Spanish. But all around the palace, these guards are jerks. I'm saying jerks because I want to keep the video somewhat PG, but listen, if you are a guard at a presidential palace, security is number one, but after that, you can be nice, you can be diplomatic, you can smile, you can wave back. None of these guys wave back, none of these guys smiled. You guys are not like, you know, a battle-ready first world country. You guys are standing guard at a Caribbean nation's presidential palace. Get a grip, okay? I am not trying to scale the walls or breach security. I'm filming with a video camera, waving at you and smiling with an American bodybuilding t-shirt on, and you're giving a horrible representation of your country. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. And these guys are no reflection of the people. The people here are so nice. But these guards, man, bunch of jerks. Bunch of jerks. So, but anyways, enough of my rant. I got here on Friday and it's Monday, and I waited so long to come over here to show you this because it has been raining non-stop.
So right here at this plaza, I was about to wrap up and start my Spanish video for Todo Lo Que Veo, which is everything I see, on YouTube, when I was approached by a gentleman who started asking me, Sir, please let me talk to you. Now mind you, this is the approach that most panhandlers take, so I looked over my left shoulder and said not interested and tried to go about my way. He then said, Sir, I need to talk to you, come here now, which was a lot more assertive than what a panhandler would say. And he then identified himself as intelligence. I went back and he started to ask me a series of questions. I told him that I was a YouTuber, that I had a travel channel, and ultimately I begrudgingly gave him my channel, Sight Sounds Flavors, but only after he had demanded my identification. I told him, had I broken the law? He said no. So I asked him why was he detaining me. He said I wasn't allowed to film. And then a major came. I didn't know he was a major. He was also plainclothes, but identified himself as a major, also of intelligence. And I told him, I said, Sir, I'm not trying to be rude, but how am I supposed to know that I can't film when I'm on the public sidewalk? My Uber driver told me that filming is okay. You guys don't have any signs anywhere that say no filming allowed. What was I to do? And this went on for about a good 4 or 5 minutes. What I should have done was kept recording. But in hindsight, you know, hindsight always being 20/20, the only thing that I said that ultimately got them to back off is I said, if this doesn't stop, we can always contact the US Embassy. And they reiterated that it wasn't illegal to film, so I reiterated, why are you detaining me? Ultimately, they let me go. Then I was about to start my Spanish video, and more military people started saying I couldn't film, And I said to them, there are no signs. And I already spoke to military intelligence and they cleared me. But I thought that it was going to be just more drama. So I turned around and I walked away. And as you can see on the film, I had already crossed the street. This is part of my Spanish video, but I'd already crossed the street. And I was about a block or two away from the farthest most point of the presidential compound when I was then approached by a uniformed military person and what presumably would have been another intelligence officer telling me that I could not film. And when I explained to them that there are no signs, they said it's a restricted area. I said, well, why don't you have signs that say it's a restricted area? I said, even if you don't want to write restricted area, you could still put a circle with a camera in the center and a line through it. That would make even illiterate people know that filming is not allowed. And then I pointed to all the no parking signs and the no unloading or loading of passenger signs all over the place. I said, why don't you just put a sign up? I said, I'm a tourist. I'm a YouTuber. How am I supposed to know? They said, well, you should have asked. I said, well, if there aren't signs saying you can't film, why would I ask if I can? These military personnel, these intelligence operatives, horrendously trained to deal with the public, horrendously trained to deal with tourists. The presidential palace is an international icon. People from all over the world come to look at it. I was coming here to show off their beautiful country. And this is no reflection of República Dominicana. The people are amazingly friendly. My Uber driver who picked me up told me that these guys are the most unprofessional. They have no tact. And my Uber driver was a retired police officer of 23 years. And he told me this. The hotel people told me the same thing. It's absolutely ridiculous that as a tourist, you encompass this, you encounter this. I can only imagine citizens of the Dominican Republic. I mean, these guys are literally in war mode. And it's very sad. If they don't want photography, post signs. Don't arbitrarily come out, armed, come out looking menacing, looking enraged, very, very unprofessional. And a major, that's, I don't know how their ranks go, but here that would be like second lieutenant, lieutenant, captain, maybe lieutenant major, and then major. I mean, that's like a mid-level officer position. What a horrendous example for the NCOs and the enlisted. Horrible example. Horrible experience, but not going to let it cloud my judgment. And I have to follow, if you look at the video, I'm actually going to include the video in Spanish, but I'm going to strip the audio and do the overdub. I actually had to walk like 5 or 6 blocks away. I lost an Uber because I was supposed to get the Uber where these two approached me, and I was terrified that they weren't going to let me leave. Even though at no point in time did they say I was arrested, at no point in time did they say I broke the law, at no point in time did they say I couldn't leave, at no point in time did they say I wanted to contact the embassy, at no point in time did they say I violated any rules, and at no point in time did they disagree with me that there were no signs posted anywhere. So basically I lost my trip. I had to pay the cancellation fee. I tried to get the Uber driver to come down to where I was at 6 blocks down. He wouldn't. So then I had to call another Uber. This has been a horrible experience. The U.S. Embassy should be notified. The Dominican government should train these people better. I mean, who knows? They may have an international diplomatic catastrophe here if one of these guys go hands-on. If one of those guys had gone hands-on, put cuffs on me, taken my camera, anything, there would have been a diplomatic, I don't know what, because what they were doing was not enforcing any laws. They were not enforcing any rules. They were unprofessional. They were basically street-level thugs in uniform with badges acting as agents of the Dominican Republic state. Absolutely ridiculous.